Hello, just wanted to say because this is my first video, I actually am not usually a boulder. I'm more of a top roper. So hopefully I can do that in the future. I literally just could not find anybody at the gym to blame me. I don't have any friends that top rope, so I usually just asked around. But unfortunately, as you will see, I couldn't find anybody. So in that case, there really was only one thing to do, which is of course to boulder.
Let's get back to it.
So ultimately, there was this kind of funny video here that I had this recording. I was ready to go where I would walk back with, my partner acquired, ready to go do some top roping. But here's me walking towards the auto belay area, and then here's me walking back empty-handed, or I guess without a partner. But it was fine, Obviously, we're going to be doing some bouldering. And so here is the boulder in question. So it starts off with a nice two-handed hold, which isn't too bad, and you use it to sort of just launch yourself over to a small right-hand jug, and it is most definitely very small. Adjusting your feet, though, allows you to match, then switch onto the starting hold, then using your left foot to push off, once again, from the start hold onto a crimp on the volume. From here, you can sort of just bump up twice, first onto a sloping crimp, then a crimp similar to where your left hand is, followed by bumping your left hand up, at which point your left foot takes up the position in a really slippery heel hook. From here, it's really all about trusting that heel hook as you match up onto a crimp just above your head. Once there, your left hand shoots up, followed by your right hand into this almost barn door move, then quickly shifting everything to the left puts you in a really comfortable position, with the only thing in the way being a final push upward onto a very nice and somewhat large sloper with a really helpful crimp on the inside. I don't know what you would do without it. And then with that, you've basically completed the climb. And so here's the full run spliced from 2 different attempts. So now actually getting into the problem area, for me, it really only was one part, that one insanely slippery heel hook. From a beta, this was by far the crux of the climb, and it was nothing to do with strength at all. It was just technique. So these types of things, especially for me, can get really annoying because it feels like I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and then in some cases I fall, in some cases I'm sort of kind of get it, I'm just a little bit hesitant, and in some cases it felt super solid. I don't have all these on recording, it just felt really inconsistent, which kind of adds to the frustration of it all. But regardless, on that particular day, I really tried it, but I have to say, I fell a lot, and I mean a lot.
Going down, you heard me? I ain't going nowhere, so get used to me. Just wanna chill and twist the lie. You gotta love it.
While it does make for a nice little montage, on the day of, it was not that much fun. It was really for 2 reasons. One being that, like I said earlier, I felt like I was literally doing the same thing every time, And while it's not in the montage, I remember counting 2 times where I just tried it and it worked seemingly miraculously. Within these 2 times, I again didn't feel like I changed anything, it just sort of stuck. I remember really tightening my shoes, hoping that it would slip out or it wouldn't slip out, because that's sort of one indicator that it's about to slip, but it really didn't work. Now, the second reason was because I felt like I had the beta completely down, but I actually had to leave early from this particular session. So as you can see, I was pretty frustrated that I was basically leaving empty-handed without the V7 that I'd been working on. And yep, that was basically it. There was nothing else to do except hope for better climbing on day 2.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce.
So if I could just pause it right there real quick, I want to talk about the headspace that I was in just before actually attempting the climb. I'm sure anyone that climbs can relate to how it feels when you practice the project enough and there's really only one thing left to do. That sort of this is it mentality is one of the reasons that I climb, and one of the reasons I started watching more pro climbers recently. Just think about how many climbs these guys have sent, but it ultimately all comes down to this single lead route, for example. Fondly, I also remember how just recently I'd climbed what felt like the hardest climb I'd ever done. It was a 513, and you can see it in the background here. It was a brutal climb, but what sticks out in my memory was how driving over to the gym that day, it really felt like I was getting ready for a fight. And that sort of you versus the wall and this is it mentality is where I was for this particular V7. And lastly, I want to add that I hadn't actually managed to climb a V7 for over a year. Well, until today.
It's just from the heart. It's just a